G'day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the grand final for the Six Invitationals ANZ Open qualifiers. I am Chuckmaster, joined by Sky. How you doing, Sky?
I'm doing great, man. It's great to be casting the finals alongside you, man. And yeah, it's been a great day of games, and I can't wait to watch it.
Yes. So you've been sitting there watching the clean feeding for the most of the day. What do you expect coming out from these teams? HomeLess, RMA both played recently in Challenger League, so these teams have played quite often against each other. Do you reckon that's going to help and coincide between these guys?
I think right now Homeless look really good. You know, winning their first matchup against Rhythm, who they are actually going to Pro League with. Um, 7-1, so extremely dominant for them. And then moving into the upper bracket final where they faced off against Vanquish, it did start to look a little bit shaky, but honestly, it was quite impressive that although it looked shaky, I think they didn't have the best start to both maps in being Clubhouse and Coastline. They had a bit of a shaky start to both maps, but they actually managed to bounce back. So that gives me a lot of confidence in their ability to play. They are playing alongside Juicy, who is a sub instead of Strider. So that actually hasn't seemed to affect them a whole lot. They've still seemed to play pretty well. But yeah, I think Homeless are looking very good coming into the final versus Read My Aggression.
Yeah, they did look a little bit shaky with their last game on Coastline. Looked like it could go either or at the end, maybe because of the sub and not playing to their full strength today. But they are definitely looking strong. RMA, massive surprise to be in the grand final. I was definitely expecting them, Rhythm, to take them out in that game. But RMA looking like a lot stronger force than what we saw in Challenger League.
Yeah, RMA, they're looking all right for sure. They've managed to beat out Vanquish, who did really take it to Homeless 7-1. So, you know, if Vanquish can take it to Homeless, and then the team that can take it to Homeless gets beaten in such dominant fashion, will that carry over? We'll have to find out. We also saw Read My Aggression beating out Rhythm, who is a pro league team now officially. So yeah, scary stuff. We haven't actually gone to see one of Read My Aggression's matches here on the mainstream yet today. So in that sense, they're a little bit of a dark horse coming into this matchup, but I'm excited to see how it unfolds.
So the maps we are going to see these teams play, it's going to be Consulate, Clubhouse, and Coastline. But Homeless have chosen got attack for both those first two maps. Sorry. Anything you're
Yeah.
reading into that?
Um, Homeless played attack as well in the last series. They started attack on club and also on coastline. And like I said, they seem to have some on both maps a slightly shaky start, but managing to bring it back. So I think a lot of teams would probably say that they don't prefer the attacking side as much, but really the mentality for Homeless is sort of do it now, get it out of the way, just do the best
Yeah.
that we can, and then you've sort of got that defense to fall back on.
Yeah, and going into it, you're always going to be working towards that defense. And Home was such a strong attacking team, which we have seen come out in Challenger League. They do have those star players that can go out and frag very well, especially on attack. And Consulate, they're a strong team to play on Consulate. So going there first, it's going to be a heavy hitting start for RMA. And I reckon predictions now, I reckon we might only see two maps with how it's going, but definitely Homeless taking out map one is just what I'm predicting.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting for sure. And for anyone that's seen that notorious 1v4 by Stigs on Consulate, that was pretty insane. So, I mean, yeah, like you said, Homeless certainly I know not new to Consulate by any meaning of the word. So, I think RMA have certainly got a lot on their plate. But again, like I mentioned earlier, we haven't actually seen RMA play on the mainstream as of yet. So in that sense, they are a bit of a dark horse, at least for us.
Yeah, nothing really. We could just see a completely different RMA coming out right now. They have been scrimming a lot. They have been working as a team a lot recently. So with now having Moppers, I think they're full five core now. They have changed how to play. I'm pretty sure. So having him as a core player, it's going to be good for them, and working together, I reckon we could see this could become very close between Homeless and RMA, which we really didn't see in Challenger League.
Yeah, and I mentioned that 1v4 clutch before. That clutch was actually against Read My Aggression, so potentially they're going to be having some nightmares.
Yeah.
It could be a bit scary to go back up against Stigs. He's certainly a player not to be taken lightly. But yeah, I'm really excited to see what ends up happening. And yeah, sort of going back to the maps, like you mentioned, we've got Coastline, we've got Clubhouse, and we've got Consulate. So we are going to, well, there's a possibility that it's a very similar band phase to what we saw in the upper bracket final, where we saw um, Homeless verse, what's their names again? I forgot.
Vanquish.
The Vanquish. Um, it's a very, very similar. If in fact, I believe it's actually the exact same band phase, not band phase, but maps that we're going to see, being Consulate, Club, and Coastline, just in a slightly different order in which they're being played.
Yeah, and we saw especially a massive play come out of Dino on Coastline against Vanquish, nearly getting an ace in that final round. And there was some massive plays coming out from Homeless. Maybe just needed to warm up a little bit when they started getting into gear. They started really bringing it to Vanquish in the end. So they kept warm in the little like half an hour to an hour or hour break since the last game. Could be pretty hard for RMA to take this one out, but it's still looking like it could be a close game.
Yeah. I guess sort of on that note, that round that you were sort of mentioning, the Homeless towards the end of Coastline, and I actually recall a round in which we literally saw the entirety of the Vanquish attack get killed within the first 30 seconds of the round, I think it was. Which is, normally if you're ever going to see something quite that crazy, it's normally the other way around, where you'll see the attackers just rush the site and kill everyone. But there was that much aggression being shown from Homeless that they literally took out the entire attacking side in about 30 seconds. And like you mentioned, there was a good chunk of that was thanks to Dino.
Yeah, they played extremely well on those defensive rounds. It looked a bit shaky when they were on attack, but once they got to that defense, it was looking pretty strong for them. So I really want to see how RMA are playing. If we're going to see really a massive change up in their play style, since we have watched these guys a fair bit in the past couple of weeks, on all these VODs for Homeless to review if they really did, but they might not been expecting to verse RMA in the finals. Most likely we're expecting Rhythm, so might not have too many counter strats against this team, and might have played towards Rhythm in the grand finals.
And I guess sort of looking at the benefit, yeah, you've got RMA who have just come fresh off the lower bracket final. So they're most certainly, they're going to feel warmed up. They've just been in an official, you'd imagine they're going to be hitting their shots. But then on the flip side, you've got Homeless who have sort of had that hour break to sort of, stand back, refresh. If they're real serious, maybe get into a server, do some dry runs. So that, yeah, I guess that's interesting. You've sort of got two different ways in which these teams have had the ability to prepare for this matchup. And yeah, I guess we'll have to see exactly how it works out.
Yeah, that's exactly right indeed. But I think we're just still waiting on one of the players, just having a little bit of trouble with the wire to get into the lobby. So we're going to go to a quick little break, and we'll be back momentarily to bring you this grand finals. Stay with us, and we'll be back in a sec.
all this time, tell me, can't you feel my feelings for you have always been real? Now after all this time, tell me, can't you feel? Tell me, can't you feel? Tell me, can't you feel? Tell me, can't you? Tell me, can't you? Tell me, can't you feel? Now it's all that want me, that want you. Now it's all
find a lover. I only got one love, and it's ice cream. Yeah.
You see my smile. Look a little bit closer. So take a good look. Oh, you see my smile. Yeah, baby, take a good look. Oh, you see my smile. Look a little bit closer. Ooh, yeah, you see my smile. I need you, need you. I need you, need you. I need you, need you. Like this.
welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about the wait, everyone. We are getting into it. I am Chuckmaster, joined by Sky, and we're finally getting into this game after this long wait. How you going, Sky?
I'm going all right, yeah. Unfortunately, we had some minor technical difficulties, but they are now resolved, and we're now getting on into this absolute smashing of a grand. What? I don't know what I was going to say there, but this is going to be a great grand final. Right? You better believe it. We've got Read My Aggression versus HomeLess here for the Sixth Invitational ANZ Open qualifiers. We actually did quite a bit of analysis before we got on into the break, rather, before we had those tech issues. So maybe, Chuck, if you want to briefly recap sort of what we discussed and our general consensus.
So, RMA didn't expect to be here right now. We expected Rhythm to be in this position, but they played extremely well, unlike what we have seen them previously do. Brought it to Rhythm and fought all the way through the lower bracket and beat it here. HomeLess were the ones that made it through the upper bracket, had a close game against Vanquish in the upper bracket grand final. Only 2 maps, though, and how they made their position here. Now, both these teams fighting each other for the better seeding in the closed qualifier.
That is correct. Both of these teams have already guaranteed themselves a spot at the closed qualifier for NZ, which is going to be happening next weekend, along the likes of Fnatic, Oddity, Mind Freak, some really notable ANZ teams. And we've also seen Vanquish, who have also claimed their spot in the third and final seed from the open qualifiers. And I'll also be participating next week in the closed qualifier. So this match is all about seeding. You want to get the highest seed that you can in hopes that you will verse a, not to say easier opponent, but maybe a more forgiving one. I don't know. But yeah, seeding is what this match is about. And I think in terms of how brutal the qualifiers are next week, and that is that only one team can make it out of the closed qualifiers and proceed onto the APAC invitational LAN. You want to get the highest seed that you possibly can to try and increase your chance of doing that.
Yes, and with the bands that we just saw come up, we got Capital, Blackbeard, Echo, and Valkyrie. So 2 Intel operators knocked off the board. Still a few left, but there's some massive ops being removed. Capital and Blackbeard, they're a little bit unusual. Capital being pretty much banned religiously by a lot of teams at the moment, but the Blackbeard's notably going to be banned because of that West Repel for this map, which is a good operator to chuck up there. So removing him's nice and easy, but that Echo and Valk is 2 massive ops to remove.
Also quite interesting, we see Shaq, who is actually playing for Read My Aggression. For those of you that aren't aware, Shaq was previously a member of the Mind Freak roster. However, that seems to no longer be the case, and hence he will be participating for Read My Aggression. So quite interesting, a slight roster change there. We've also got Mop from Malta, who is, I believe, Specker's brother. So yeah, a lot of decent players here, and it should be a good matchup. And already we're going to see the Mute get taken down, and that'll be a 1-man advantage for HomeLess.
Yeah, quick, easy work already made, and the Buck is going to be starting to stun out to see where these ADSs are, seeing if they can get a nade through the top there. Drones are going to be going out, looking like a heavy push towards yellow stairs. Hayward's just going to be peeking in, seeing if anyone's going to be sitting in these default spots, but Dino picks up a kill on to Sarge there, but Lucifer has something to say and gets a kill onto Dino, though. That's going to be their Jackal removed.
Good for Lucifer to slightly, I guess, even out there, if you will. They don't want to get too far behind. Oh, geez, that was a bit of a messy gunfight there between the Habana and Mop from Malta, but we are still in favor of HomeLess, nonetheless, and they've got an abundance of time here to actually push onto site. You can see Lucifer and Mop are both quite lit, so, it's going to make defending that site near quite difficult. Pan will take down Arlo, however, and that's going to even out the man count, so a minute and a half here for HomeLess to actually make their final push. I'd still say it's looking slightly in favour of them, but with Pun below with 3 smoke baits, if he has the required hole set up, he could actually smoke through the floor potentially, so we'll have to see how that works out.
Yes, so moving in Now we're going to see have the HP advantage in the way of HomeLess. Minute left on the clock. They still have plenty of drones, but Pun has fallen down into a precarious spot, playing on the bottom of yellow stairs, just peeking out towards this staircase. No one going to be there. Spots the Thatcher's dead body, but Diffuser's starting to go down on the other side of the map. Juicy's sticking on the plant, but we're going to see it run out from Pun. It's not going to quite work. Stigs managed to pick up 2. That's what's going to be Mop and Lucifer down. It's all up to Pun, who is on the below, and it does look like Stigs knows exactly where he is.
Yeah, I think he got spotted when he ran out, and Stigs will take him down inevitably. Very nice stuff. Nice 3k there from Stigs in the end to actually lock it down for HomeLess. And you could see they had a really strong start to the round. Towards the mid-round, it started to look a little bit scary. But good for HomeLess to sort of get their head back in the game. All right, guys, let's stop just giving them 1v1s. Let's push as a team collectively. And in the end, that's going to work out for them.
Yeah, really didn't see how they went for that push, but we just saw the Habana take sight and go for it pretty quickly. And now we're going to see console getting played again, but a little bit of a lineup change. The mirror has to be banned out, so mirror is going to be in play. I'm thinking we might see one of the old strategies where you have the mirror placed in that small photocopier room and played it towards admin to stop that pressure, which most likely they pushed from previously.
And that can be a real difficulty for teams that aren't very good at adapting. If your sort of whole mentality is, we're pushing admin, and you're just sort of going to brute force into it, then having a mirror there can make it quite difficult to push. I don't think necessarily HomeLess is a team that can't adapt, but I think if they see that, there's a decent chance that we might see that be the case. But yeah, I think nevertheless, that mirror is likely to be placed down in printer. And yeah, it's going to be really on HomeLess to try and adapt and change how they play there.
Yeah, but team like HomeLess that played so well in Challenger League, securing a spot in Pro League now, and teams that, they're in Pro League now, they need to be able to adapt, and it's something I reckon we're going to be able to see come out from the guys this time. Still having 2 mirrors on in play, and I might think with the reinforcements getting set up, we might have one in connector as well, just the way the reinforcements have been placed.
Yeah, it's possible. Seeing mirror. In fact, we might even have a double mirror in connector. Possibility. The mirror isn't showing a lot of movement, however, so hopefully Shaq is actually there and can place these mirrors down. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Pun here moving around in meeting. So yeah, we actually haven't got that mirror that you suggested in the copy room nonetheless. So that's going to make, if HomeLess do want to push admin, it's going to be quite a viable strategy for them.
Yeah, and especially those West repellers are getting a little bit harder to repel on. And that's going to be Dino getting another easy kill straight off the bat again. That's 2 kills he's got within like the first 30 seconds. Massive pick taking out the Jaeger, and there's going to be a team kill. Shaq goes down by Sagion, and unsure what's happening here, but now they're playing in a 3v5. Not looking good for them.
Yeah, that's not a good start whatsoever. Again, Dino getting that kill again is almost unforgivable for RMA. For it to happen once, that's fine. But to not adapt and try and not allow it to happen again, it's not great. You can see Sajian here doing all that he possibly can, but he's just getting constantly droned. He's getting grenaded, and he's now trapped behind this pillar. I find it quite unlikely that he's going to get out of this position alive if HomeLess play it well, but no. Oh, there we go. We've got one on main window. Juicy will take him down. The super sub, and now it's a 5v2, and it is already in the starting rounds here on Consulate. Really not looking great here for RMA at all.
Dino just swings in and picks up 2 easy kills right at the end. HomeLess just sweeping in right now. Easy pre-fire, and he picks up the second one in connector. Massive plays from HomeLess right now. They're just completely rolling RMA at this point. Not looking good for him right now. Hopefully Shaq is actually back in play so they can continue on. But now choosing not to go to that top floor once again. We're going to see a change up and go to Garage next.
In terms of operators, it seems to be quite consistent for HomeLess. They're bringing that Jackal again. They're bringing that Buck again. They're bringing that Ash again. So they seem to sort of have a mentality a lot of top tier 10s have these days, where they sort of realize that people can go anywhere and they'll just sort of pick a starting lineup of 5. And no matter which site the opponent picks, they can sort of sort out their push with those 5 operators. Again, it seems that Shaq is still AFK, so... Oh, is he back? No, he's back. Lovely. So it's going to be good that we have 5 players playing here for RMA. Could change things up, and I guess more importantly, the fact that they have decided to go downstairs and change their bomb site choice, which is quite smart. You see teams swap sites. To lose it once is fine. Try it again, sure, but after that, you really do have to change sites. It's clearly not working, and we have seen teams struggle with that in the past. So to see RMA making that, I guess, simple yet potentially effective adaptation so early on is good to see.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to see heavy presence in bathroom. Most likely going to be Shaq playing in there with the Ella. Very aggressive angle to play, and it's going to be hard to push him out of there. Will most likely have some ADSs, and his Grismot's at the doorway, so he can try and get that advantage. Patch being opened also to quickly drop off. So quite aggressive angle to be playing, but could pay out very well for the side of RMA. Just looking for that round, especially on a map like Consulate, where it's going to be defensive sided. That's going to be Shaq getting team killed again. Unsure what's happening here, but not looking good for RMA at this point.
You can see here, HomeLess still, although, they see these team kills coming out, and, in the past have been able to sort of take these sites by storm. It's good to see that they are still taking it really slow. They don't want to slip up. I think that's, where teams can slip up, and what sort of can allow this to come back in some situations is where teams feel that they get far ahead, and then we'll just start to slack off on some of the simple things. And I think by no means are RMA sort of, in terms of gun skill, I think they're very adept players, especially Seiji. I remember observing or casting a game a while ago, and it was absolutely popping off. So I feel if the opportunity arises and HomeLess sort of slack off a bit and almost gift it to them, RMA could very quickly get their way back into this.
Yeah, but now Shaq being eliminated, they have control of this hatch. It's already been opened up. They don't need to devote any X-Caros to it, so it can still be placed towards the wall. Arlo goes in and gets a kill onto Sadrion. That's going to be their Jaeger removed. Massive frag now into 5v3, make that a 5v2. As Dino just pushes in and just goes all fragging out. Gets 2, but will be removed by Lucifer. Now it needs to tackle this tough mountain to get this, but HomeLess going in 3 rounds in a row, looking so strong right now.
Yeah, HomeLess are not messing around at all. Again, it's troubling as to why we're seeing these team kills come out. I don't think they're accidental. I think potentially, yeah, I'm not sure, but nevertheless, HomeLess looking really, really strong here. Yeah, if you want me to be honest, RMA, just the way they're playing is interesting. I don't know. They're sort of taking gunfights they don't necessarily need to be taking. Like they should probably sit back and maybe play a little bit more passive. Nevertheless, we're seeing them go back up to console office meetings, so they are certainly staying on their toes and trying to keep swapping their sites around.
Yeah, they're trying to play extremely aggressive and peeking all these angles. We're really seeing Dino on that Jackal. Don't really even we've seen him use the Inox. He's been just running and gunning with the PD dub and just taking heads off with it. Hasn't really needed to use his ability whatsoever. So it's looking unfortunate for RMA with just how the setup is going, losing a player earlier on. They maybe just need to ease it up a little bit and play a bit more passive.
Potentially, and yeah, now that they do seem to have this full 5-man roster on the cards, they are going back upstairs, so we'll see how this works out for them. They've got relatively fragging operators. You've got a Moz who's a good fragger, Maestro, Vigil, Smoke, Jaeger as well as a good fragger. So yeah, the RMA not hitting their shots here, it's sort of hard to say. But yeah, really just they need to not take the fights with HomeLess, because we've seen that HomeLess have been really good with getting that opening pick. So if they don't sort of gift that to them and they sort of play really, really safe, and we sort of start to get to the latter half of the round, and HomeLess don't have a pick, then they could potentially start to panic.
Yeah, Dino's has been playing extremely well today. His gun skills are just on point, tapping everyone's heads at this position. Gets on the connector window nice and early, seeing if anyone will over-aggress, which RMA have been doing previously. Just going to be playing around, seeing if anyone will peek him, but nothing yet. Now, Shaq managed to pick up a drone with that Mozzie and will be playing in bathroom, having the drone face towards yellow stairs just to get some knowledge if anyone's peeking, and Mop wins that gunfight against Juicy, but there will be a refrag from Dino.
Yeah, that was a jump out from Mop. So yeah, a little bit of, I guess, timed aggression. If he really finds one for it, gets traded instantly. Not the worst, but also not the best. Goes both ways, I guess. And just being a Jaeger, if he has placed down his barb and his ADSs, at least they're not losing a whole lot of utility as if it was the Maestro or the Smoke, or even the Mozzie who's got a C4. So not the worst play to lose in this situation for RMA. And it does seem that it is going to be a west side plant here for HomeLess, which is a plant that we don't see too often by a lot of teams. We also see Stigs constantly just posting up with, ooh, there you go.
Yeah, very dangerous spot to sort of sit in. Can slip and lose your life, but will pay out for him. They do know someone else is on yellow stairs. Ping's going away. Nade's going out, and Stigs hits a beautiful nade onto Shaq, and that's going to be the entry for Dino to get into yellow stairs and open up sight. Hun moves towards the bathroom, though.
Stigs has been so good on those grenades today, especially on coastline area. We're going to see a peek here. Oh, Dino almost flicks to him. But he is going to find it in the end. It's now 3v1. Pun has got absolutely no health. The plant's going down. Look, don't think he can win this, unfortunately. We've got someone at the skylight. I think Stigs will take him down here for his third of the round. But no, he's actually going to manage to take down Arlo. Maybe thought that Stigs was holding that angle. Nevertheless, yeah, look, it doesn't look great. The bomb's down. And now it's really on Pun to push forward here. And he'll get taken down by Hayward. And that'll be HomeLess's fourth round on the board.
Yeah, it's not looking good for RMA right now. Getting the full players in the lobby now, so it can try and bring this back. But losing CEO 3 times, losing Garage once, they do need probably go to a different site. Maybe Garage, maybe lobby, just change something out because it's really not working for them at this point. And it's HomeLess, it is looking so coordinated right now with their pushes and their nades and everything on point.
Yeah, we've seen a few times in the sort of late game for HomeLess where it's looked a little bit shaky, but they've always managed to bounce back and close it out. I'm sort of okay with RMA going downstairs and giving that a shot. I think we've probably established at this stage that they're not going to have a whole lot of luck upstairs. They have only played this downstairs bomb site once, so to sort of play it again, Shaq's also been the clash, so to give it another go and try revitalize it, maybe with a slightly different strategy, I'm happy to see that. But I think after this, because we will have one more round left in the half, yeah, if they don't win it, I'd like to see them go somewhere like Lobby, like Teller's Chuck, because yeah, it's not looking pretty for them.
Yeah, anything just to try and throw a little bit of a spanners in the work, but CEO is just not looking good for him. The positioning of HomeLess and how they're playing it's showing it too strong, but interesting operator to point out a clash is being brought this time. So intrigued to see how they choose to play this clash and what positioning it's going to be used.
Yeah, I'm equally intrigued to see exactly what operator, what that clash is going to do in the end. We've got Stigs here holding up that long angle. So again, look, if we're looking at any positives here for RMA, at least they've sort of denied that very early initial pick for HomeLess on these last 2 rounds. So look, it's progress, it's just not very much of it, and especially when they've got to try and, they want to try and get a round on the board. Or you'd hope to. Oh no! Juicy goes down! Sergio finds Dino. We're actually seeing, not Juicy, sorry, Juicy takes down his teammate. It's not looking great here for Arlo and Stigs, but Stigs actually stops there, so it's just Arlo, and yeah, wow. Like I said, one of the first things I said at the start of this map was it's important for HomeLess to keep taking these rounds and giving them a lot of respect, making sure that they aren't cutting shortcuts. And that round was, look, it was a pretty pathetic round. I'm not gonna lie, all right. That was not great from HomeLess, and yeah, is that going to be RMA's way back into this map?
you call it a shortcut, but that's just sprinting through a hole and hoping they're not looking when it breaches. They're just trying to send it to side, losing a player from it. Mott finally gets that kill, but Stigs 1v4, full HP. We have seen him do this clutch once before on this map. Not this site, but, you know, his aim can be pretty nutty at the best of times, so gonna see him trying to clutch this one out. Here's footsteps above and a little bit concerned about this spiral staircase. A lot of barricades have been set up to give away these sound cues when he goes for this push. Minute left on the clock and he's still passively holding angles right now. Has to maybe assert himself a little bit. The Clash will know exactly where he is sitting now. Not looking good for him.
I mean, he's 1v4'd against RMA on this map before. Can he do it again? Look, with this Clash, probably not. Ooh, unless they're going to give an opening. Nope. Level deny. You can see there RMA not gonna let that happen again, and that'll be a round on the board. So really good stuff from them. Yeah, like I mentioned, HomeLess sort of, yeah, they again tried to make a bit of a shortcut, and it failed immensely for them.
Yes. So now jumping in, not going to see that CEO come out once again. Going to go to actually, as they change off lobby and take it to the top floor. So we are going to see CEO for the 4th time. Are they going to be able to tackle it? HomeLess might slow things down once again. They did speed things up for that garage push, but I reckon we might see everything slow down. Just to say, we need to confirm these rounds. Let's not sort of get over aggressive and throw some rounds.
Attackers need to locate and defuse
Yeah.
as many bombs as they can.
I think, yeah, again, that's got to be a minor wake-up call for HomeLess. I think no doubt, hopefully we'll see them play it a lot slower. As that was really what they were going for before, and it was working quite well. Yeah, I mean, I think if RMA managed to carry that momentum from that round over on here, I think there's a great chance that they could potentially come back, you know, a 4-2 half. And especially going with the momentum onto your attacking side, there's certainly a chance that they could bring it back. But I think if HomeLess bunker down here and win this round, it's going to be quite difficult.
Yeah. Mott going to be prepping some windows. We did see him play aggressively on these windows previously. And same sort of setups really coming out once again. No rotation hold 2 connected though, so it's going to be intriguing to see how this is all get played out. We're going to see Hayward getting on this west rappel, probably just going straight up to the roof, not going to be dealing with that window as Mop sort of just playing behind the bomb, seeing if anyone will peek him.
Mop playing really aggro there on the window. They aren't holding piano either, so if they got someone on main console windows, someone on con windows, and got the buff there below, they could easily flush him out. But it seems to be quite a similar sort of push here from HomeLess.
Yes, Dino getting on this bathroom rappel. Mop manages to pick up the first frag, and that's going to be Juicy going down there. Hard breach eliminated. Two operators have lost half their HP, but that's going to be, I believe, Sageon going down to at least like 5 HP. Stigs getting the kill onto Mop, and it's not looking good for him. He is extremely low right now and stuck in bathroom. Drone's going to drone him out. No ADS left there. He could be getting naded out of this position, but I'm pretty sure Stigs is out.
There you go. Dino will take him down. Really nice stuff there. And now it's a 3v4. And just as we expected, it's been taken a lot slower here for HomeLess. They've got plenty of time here left in the round. And you can see they are utilizing these drones. Even Ash is droning. When do you see that? So HomeLess has clearly got a little bit of a wake-up call here. And Stigs again holding this position. He seems to like it. And again, it gives you quite good information onto lower yellow stairs there. However, it does keep you quite exposed. And now he's going to rappel on over. You can presume that this is now where we're going to start to see them go for the plant. I'd expect for Dino to smoke the cross or hold it, something of that matter, or we can just kill everyone. That works as well. And they're going to rappel in and go for this plant. However, Shaq does have a direct line of sight. These smokes are going to be utilized, which is really smart. Again, not taking any chances whatsoever. Ooh, Shaq can't quite hit him. Lucifer is down. It's all on Shaq in a 1v3. He's actually going to dock his teammate, so nice stuff from him. Again, with the post-plant positions being held by HomeLess, this is going to be almost an impossible task.
Talking about impossible tasks, we see a run out from one of the players and gets eliminated. Stigs on this repel. Cheeky little shot straight onto Doc. And that's going to be the half going very one-sided to HomeLess, looking extremely HomeLess-sided right now. And 5-1, only needing to pick up 2 rounds on defense on Consulate, which it's pretty easy to win on defense, especially when you've got these 2 top and bottom sites that are the easier ones to hold. So going to nearly have to see pretty much a flawless half from the attack from RMA if they want to bring it out.
Yeah, and especially with Lucy, you've got to imagine that, getting in a sub last minute and sort of coordinating and trying to run them through your strategies and that sort of thing, it's going to be a lot easier for a sub last minute to play on defense. It's going to be, I would say, a fair amount less complicated than the attack. Because if you want, you could want him to roam, or you could just, just anchor, sit on site, watch cams. There are more simple, and again, obviously that's completely oversimplifying it, but I'd say it's overall simpler than attack. So if it's sort of going to be easier for HomeLess to work as a collective on defense, then yeah, it could be quite scary for RMA when we're going to see them take the lobby site. And again, I'd say HomeLess, we saw them on Clubhouse before when they were versing Vanquish. They picked Master Bedroom as their first offensive site. So again, HomeLess seem to be a team that do like experimenting with these more. I wouldn't call lobby an obscure site, but it certainly isn't one that you would always see picked up first.
Yeah, exactly right. It looks like Stigs might be going for a spawn peek here as he opens up bathroom windows. Nothing kind of really come for it. I'm really interested if we can get a leaderboard check, because I want to see how many of these kills are going in the way. Dino's been picking up a few, so I'm guessing he's most likely on the top, but he's been playing extremely well right now. And going to have a lot of attention in admin as Dino on the Jaeger with Haywood playing aggressively on the windows.
You can see that HomeLess are really confident in their ability to take these gunfights right now. Already we're going to see that Sophia lit quite heavily. And yeah, look, again, we talked quite early in the game about sort of pushing aside. So it's quite clear right now HomeLess have a presence inside of admin. And it's really on Vanquish now to try and adjust and, not push this because, it's clear they have presence. Can they push somewhere else? That sort of thing. And it seems like right now they aren't having the best time doing that. And they seem to just really be brute forcing this. So I think that could be quite scary for them. But again, this roam clear, they're trying to get control of upstairs so that they can eventually push down into lobby.
Yes, so gonna see Stigs in a great position to get some shots off. The buck goes past him, and now Stigs playing on this long desk. A little bit of a dangerous angle because there is so many positions he can get shot from. And beautiful shot coming out from Stigs. He takes Mop's head right off. Haywood gets another one onto Lucifer. It's now in a 4v2 as Buck goes down as well by Haywood. It's now HomeLess just going completely out. Arlo gets the kill on Pun, and that's HomeLess at least confirming the overtime match point as well.
Yeah, geez, and you can see the inability of RMA to adjust their attack and try something else failed them in the end. They droned it out. It was quite clear that there was a strong presence for HomeLess. And in turn, they just tried to brute force it. And I mean, when HomeLess is already 5-1 up, it's quite clear that they're winning their gunfights. Is really brute forcing onto something they're holding so strongly the best thing to do.
Exactly right. And did get a little check of the leaderboards, and Dino on 11-5 right now, with Stigs closely falling behind with 7-1, only dying one round, with Haywood only dying one round as well. But it's really just Stigs and Dino getting all the frags at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, we saw that same sort of story, I guess, displayed earlier on Coastline, as you brought up in the pre-game chat. You know, Dino was really popping off towards the end, and I mentioned that Stigs got a lot of grenade kills, and I don't know, he's just sort of the pillar for Homeless. I mean, he's just good at what he does. You know, if he needs to get a kill, you know, he'll get it. If you need him to 1v4, he'll get it sometimes, which is a pretty good percentage going off. You know, you're never meant to win a 1v4, but he'll find it for you every now and then. So, yeah, no, Homeless seem to be a really solid team, and even with the sub, they're still playing quite well.
Yeah, still looking like a very dominant force. Thinking that this was going to be more of a closer game, we did see a little bit of a hiccup with RMA sort of players at the start, but it's not looking good for them right now with the full team. They're just sort of struggling to get some kills. Dino now going for a spawn peek through lobby, and that's going to be Savion getting the first frag onto Juicy, with Juicy doing a spawn peek with the Doc. You know, I can sort of give it to them. They're allowed to spawn peek right now. How dominantly they're playing.
Yeah, maybe, but also I don't think Juicy has had the best last few rounds either. So maybe a little bit questionable, but yeah, we'll see how much it really matters. Dino's already going to find Mop from Malta, so that's just going to even it. And although there's a lot of time, again, I feel like this is sort of the same story as last time. If they realize that there's a decent roaming upstairs, they just need to back off, in my opinion. Like, no point pushing it. You've got Dino up there. Like, this man has been popping off today. You've got Hayward as well, who's an extremely strong player in his own right. I don't think pushing onto these players is the right thing to do.
Yeah, and they're wasting time perfectly. But as that, we do see Dino go down. There's still a player on that top floor, but Hayward just drops off. Air jab's going to hit him off his position, but can he quickly get back to site before losing his life? And it does look like he does so. They have wasted a half the time, only getting one kill, losing two players. Is that going to be enough to stop the force? Dino has gone down. They still do have three players, but that man disadvantage. We're going to see Shaq going for a cheeky drop the grenade through the floor with Buck, and not going to land on anything besides maybe the bandit charges.
I remember when we first saw Neo Fighter do this on Chalet. Those were the days, and it was just like a Reddit post, and it went like pretty crazy. That was pretty awesome. And nevertheless, I got a little bit cast of the curse there in the end. I'm actually going to push out the Homeless defense upstairs. And although they wasted a little bit of time, I wouldn't call it a whole lot. I think there's still, you know, I think RMA still very much have a foot in this round. However, you know, you're going up against Stigs on this Maestro. Not only does he have those cams, but he's also got the Alda, which is an extremely strong weapon. You've got Hayward, who I'd assume probably has a C4, MP7, also a really strong gun. And then you'd assume you've got three smoke babes. So there's actually a lot of utility here for the defenders to stall this push out. You're going to see that first babe going out now. In 30 seconds, yeah, you'd hope that they don't plan on all pushing from that front panel. Who's actually managing to plant here.
Yeah, not going to be affected by the smoke, but will finally get affected as he pulls off the plant. There's another smoke going down. Pun gets a kill onto Hayward. Sticks returns the fire, though, onto Lucifer. It's now a 2v3. They have to go for this plant, though. It's 11 seconds left on the clock. They can stall this out with the plant. The plant going down by Seiji on the Ash, the one going for it. It looks like they were shooting Pun in the back just a little bit, but not quite going to land. And the plant manages to go down. Arlo has gone down as well. 1v3 clutch for the Sticks.
So, talking about Stigs winning a clutch every now and then, he's now in a 1v1 versus the Nomad in Pun. Wow, yeah, I'd look, you know what I'd say? Got a decent chance at winning it. Pun has 2 flashbangs left. If he uses these well, he might be able to. But what did I tell you? Stigs is an absolutely crazy player, and just as I said, he will get you a round win every now and then, and he just did exactly that on perfect display. That'll be Homeless taking map number 1 on Consulate. Wow, what a show of pure dominance and skill.
Yes, massive game coming out right there from Homeless. Massive plays coming out. They just played extremely well. 1v3 clutch. Did look like Shaq may have DDC'd a little bit, but it looked unfortunate for him. But look at the kills coming out. 12 for 1 from Stigs.
Yeah, indeed. So that's actually going to be the complete and entire GG. If you guys aren't aware of the way the upper bracket system works, because HomeLess actually won over in the upper bracket final versus that of Vanquish, they actually come into the grand final with a 1 map advantage. And because of that, they have now actually won the ANZ open qualifiers, and hence will be going into next week of the closed qualifiers in not the first seed of the entire qualifiers, but the first seed from the open qualifiers.
Yeah, so they played extremely well coming out. HomeLess, RMA having a little bit of unluck with some of their players, but coming in, some massive players coming out, 1v3 from Stigs at the end. Dino also going up with some massive kills, fragging out on that Jackal at the start, just running in, getting so many kills. Just HomeLess looked like an unbeatable force right there, and they showed it with a 7-1 scoreline.
Yeah, extremely dominant stuff from them. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say, to be honest. It was HomeLess have really shown up today. I mean, I think a lot of people probably had doubts coming in today, considering that they are playing with a sub. However, I think HomeLess are in the best that they've looked in a while, even considering they had a sub. And also, I guess, with the new acquisition of their new analyst, D Wolf, who's from Europe. It'll be interesting to see exactly how that impacts them. They've also got Picnic, who is a long-time ANZ Siege veteran who's coaching. And then, of course, you've got Cadavase, who is the manager. So they've got a really, really strong backbone behind them as a team. And I really expect these guys to come into Pro League next season with a bang.
Yeah, and everyone's expecting them. They've got those big names on them, and their Pro League season's going to be exciting to see how they actually sort of go up against it and sort of play in towards it. But yeah, it's really exciting to see. They take the best seed for the open qualifiers, so we will see them face out again very soon against some of the bigger names, other Pro League teams in the ANZ region, and it's going to be a very interesting play day when that does happen.
Yeah, and you can watch all of that action next Saturday, the 7th of December, right here on Rainbow Six ANZ. You'll see HomeLess, AMR, and Vanquish face the likes of Fnatic, Mindfreak, Oddity, some of the best teams in ANZ Siege. It is a play day not to be missed. And at the end of it all, we will crown the ANZ Invitational Qualified champions, and they will move on to the APAC qualifiers, where they will verse the best from APAC, all for a spot at the biggest Siege tournament in the world, the Six Invitational 2020.
Yes, so I believe that is all we have to bring you today. The game was definitely interesting, but I'd like to thank everyone that we had on production and Observer for sort of helping us out today. Was a little bit of a long road, a little bit sort of messy at the start, but we got there in the end, and thank you everyone that helped out. But I've been Chuckmaster, joined by Sky, and we'll see you guys next time.